I always love offering the blood pressure monitors here at HSN because, you know, the truth is it's a pretty serious subject, and a lot of us are walking around not having a clue what our blood pressure numbers are. But you know what? You feel better when you do know. And then you can make choices based on if it's too high. Now, I don't know if anybody thinks it's too low, but you know, whatever the case may be, it's such a great item to have. You have to have one in your first aid kit or your pantry of, you know, your supplies. We have both blue and red. I love this particular blood pressure monitor for a couple of reasons. Not only does it come with a 5-year warranty, but this is something that it fits over the arm. So it just feels like it's gonna give you a much more accurate reading. It's the way the doctors take your blood pressure, by up and over the arm. And it's got a nice big, beautiful display and readout, but it doesn't require batteries. So it's rechargeable. You never have to spend a dime on batteries, which I think is amazing. That coupled with the fact that this has got 500 readings that will store inside 250 per user. So if it's you and your wife, you and your husband, you and your partner, you and your kids, we all want to know and need to know what those numbers are, because that's information you can bring straight to your healthcare provider, whether it's on, you know, teledoc or if it's person to person. It's something that is really valuable, and boy, once you know that number, you're just more destined to make the better choices. If you need to just tweak your diet a little bit, go for it. If you need to get on some medication to get that number to a better place, do that. We're gonna talk details with one of my favorite guests, Matt Peters. He is a man who is, well, he's a nurse. He works in the emergency room. He has spent his whole career in the medical profession, and I always look forward to seeing you. Just talking to you, Matthew, makes me feel more relaxed.
Callie, Happy New Year, and it's so nice to be here to talk about things like health. So you and Stella were just talking about making improvements, feeling better, looking better on the outside, checking things like weight. How do you know if you're feeling okay on the inside? And the problem with this is we don't know if we have high blood pressure because most of the time we can't feel it until the really bad things happen. So let's talk about those statistics that are going around just to open everybody's eyes and get us all on the same page. 1 in 3 adults in this country has hypertension or high blood pressure. That's about 75 million Americans. But only about half of us have it under control. That's including diet and even exercise, and yes, even blood pressure medications. So look right below there, another group of 75 million Americans has what we call pre-hypertension. So that means it's off the radar, they haven't been at the doctor, they don't know what's going on, and it can lead to one of those things that we're talking about, like heart attacks or strokes. That's why they call this the silent killer, Callie, because oftentimes the first time you find out about high blood pressure is when you have a heart attack or a stroke. My mom had a near miss, and we had a big scare with her some years ago. She had undiagnosed high blood pressure, ended up in the hospital, in the emergency room with a heart attack. She's doing well now, but she's checking her blood pressure every day. Now take a look at this one, Callie, because this is what makes this good news and special to start the new year, is I have this beautiful unit. I'm gonna turn the display on. Take a look at how big and beautiful that display is. I can cycle through these memories. And again, you said 500 readings in memory. You can use it 250 for one user, 250 for a second user. Veridian tells you exactly how to put this on because this is an arm cuff. So it tells you how to put it on your arm. It's attached to the compressor, so there's no wires, tubes to bring around. It's completely rechargeable, so you can always trust the clinically accurate readings as comparable to your doctor's office, but you don't have to go to your doctor's office to get the clinically accurate reading. So you're gonna get your systolic, you're gonna get your diastolic. It's gonna interpret the reading with this color-coded indicator right here. So in the middle of the night, when you get up and you wanna check your blood pressure, it's gonna tell you, Veridian that is, what your blood pressure is doing, and it's gonna give you that split-second look. It's gonna time and date stamp all of your readings for, again, 250 readings for one user and 250 for a second user. That, Callie, is 6 months worth of readings.
I was just gonna do the math myself. That's such important information, because you're gonna see yourself either improving or not, which is gonna allow you to improve your goals. Maybe that is diet, maybe that is exercise, or a combination of the two. Maybe it is, you know, like you said, getting on medication. Sometimes that's what needs to happen. I know my guy, Tracy, his blood pressure is so high, he has to go to this doctor because he had this accident last year and he's having injections in his neck, and he gets so stressed because the first thing they do when we go to the doctor is take his blood pressure, and it's always high. The first reading, he's like so nervous, his hands are sweating. So then they give us a few minutes, we do some meditation, we relax a little bit, and they come back in, and by every single time, the second reading is like, okay, now we're talking, now we can go ahead with the procedure. But it's such important information. It's not just like, nice to know. I mean, it is critical for a lot of us, and it's not something that is necessarily genetic, Matthew. Sometimes there's, you know, one person in the family has high blood pressure, but no, everybody else is fine. And it's not necessarily a gal or a guy. It's not necessarily a certain age group. It's just an important part of our overall health. That's why doctors, it's the first thing they do when you go to see a doctor of any kind. But it is called the white coat syndrome because we do get nervous when we walk in. So instead of being stressed out and uptight about that, how about bring this in, talk to your doctor about it, whether it's on, you know, a call or not, and let them take a look at the course of maybe a week or two or a month or two of the tracking that this monitor does for you.
Yeah, and talk about getting rid of that stress. This is going to be you in the comfort of your own home. Take a look at Donna there. She put it perfectly on her arm. It's got a latex-free cuff, so you don't have to worry about any sort of sensitivity there. And in only about 30 seconds, Donna's able to get that reading, and it's, again, accurate as compared to the readings you're going to get in the doctor's office. That's why this removes that stress. If you get ahead of this and you know you can trend your information in here, 250 readings, you're going to get the charging cable included with this, so you're always going to keep the full charge. You even get the carrying case that comes with it. So take a look at Donna's reading there. She has a nice 132, I think it says, I'm looking at it sideways, over 81.
Nice job, Donna.
Heart rate, very nice job. Her heart rate is 73, and it gives her that reading on a split second. If she doesn't feel quite right, she can stop her exercise program. She can take her blood pressure again in, 5 or 10 minutes, but it eliminates that stress of not knowing what's going on until you get to the doctor's office, because a lot of times the doctor will medicate us based on the only information that the doctor has, which is when we're at the doctor's office. This is one of the best gifts that you can give your loved one, because take a look at that. This is you at home. In the comfort and privacy of your own home, you have a sanitary device that only you're using to get those clinically accurate readings. You can take it with you on the go, Callie. 5-year warranty, and I want to mention too, take a look at the customer reviews on this product. Veridian's been doing this for about 40 years with these products. You can trust them. You're going to spend double if you go out and try to shop around any other blood pressure that is an arm monitor attached to the cuff and gives you all these features. It's not going to happen unless you pay a lot more. Oh. That's why it's a pleasure to have this on HSN
I couldn't agree more. And truthfully, there are blood pressure monitors out there. They're like $25, $30, but you have to put batteries in those. And you know how often you have to change those batteries? That adds up after a while. This is compatible. So you never have to spend money on it. You'll always have the accuracy because it'll always be at that full charge. 5-year warranty, as you mentioned. The arm itself is going to give you a better reading, I think, than the cuff at the wrist. So personally, it's why we picked it for this show, because it is something we want accuracy. We want that tracking. The item for you is 0995. This on a flex, you've got a month to be able to play with it and see what you think. It's a little more than $20 to get yours delivered. We have both blue and red. Every home needs one in their arsenal. The thing we all need, Matthew, is a thermometer. And we've got in stock from Veridian the touch-free infrared thermometer. So this, Matthew, if I'm not mistaken, does a couple of things. It tracks our own body temperature, but